2016 is over and 2017 has begun, and I read a lot of good books in 2016. I still have a lot of books that I've had for a long time and still haven't read. Started but didn't finish, series that I didn't continue, and I realized that I have a lot of books that go into these things. So today I'm going to do a book bucket list for 2017. Next year, when we go into 2018, I would like to be able to say that I finished all these books. So let's just get into the books now. This first book is one that I mentioned in my BookTube newbie tag. It's one of the original books that I ever owned my own copy of. It's one of the first in my book collection. It is Floors by Patrick Cameron. I started this book sometime, but I didn't really get into it very much, even though it was really interesting. It looks like it's the first book in a series. It has a really cool cover, and I still haven't read it. I started, but I haven't finished it, and I really need to, because I've had it for a very long time. I just need to finish this book. What's next? This next book is another book that I've had for a very long time and haven't even started. And what's shameful is that this is a very short book, so I should have it read by now. Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Patterson. This is like a classic or almost classic book. I think I remember seeing a movie adaptation on TV. And it's so short. I should just read it. I could probably read this in one sitting if I wanted to. I don't think I could though, because I want to get up and walk around, but I could probably read this in a day. Book number 3 is the second book in a trilogy, and I read the first book and I really enjoyed it, and I immediately got my mom to buy the second book on Amazon, and I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I think it's due to its size, because it's pretty big, and back then I didn't read really big books, and it's not really that big. It's pretty normal size, but it looks really big compared to the books that I was reading when I got it. It's Dandelion Fire, which is the second book in the 100 Cupboards trilogy by Andy Wilson. It's got a really pretty cover. Look at this. Look at this. I would highly recommend 100 Cupboards. It was very good, and I can't wait to read this. I'm probably going to have to reread 100 Cupboards before I read this though. Maybe I'll audiobook 100 Cupboards. This next book is a book that I got halfway through before I DNF'd it a long time ago. It's Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. Another really cool cover here. I remember reading this on the beach and my sister being excited because there's an anime movie adaptation and she's really into anime and she wanted to watch the movie with me when I finished it, but I never finished it. I think I just got to a slightly boring part is when I stopped reading it. Also, it's another book that's pretty big compared to the books that I was reading at the time. Next book, which one should I do? Let's do this one. The first 3 books in the Artemis Fowl series. I think I'll be happy if I just get the first one read. I'll be really happy if I got all 3 of these read. I know there's more to the series, and like a millennium ago, my sister gave me her box set when she moved out. And now I have the first 3 books, and I started the first one. I got a chapter in, then I didn't finish it. I don't think I'll call it a DNF book because I only read a few pages in, and it was very interesting the few pages that I read. I think I'll probably pick this up after I finish maybe the first 1039 Clues. The next one I have is The Adventures of Robin Hood. I haven't read a classic in a while, not counting A Christmas Carol last December. I need to get back more into reading the classic books. Also, Anne of Green Gables is another classic that I've had for a long time. This is going to represent all the classics that I've been meaning to read. The next one I got is Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. I don't know if I said that right. This is another really super short book. This one I at least read a few pages, but the first few pages were kind of boring, so I didn't finish it. Next book is The Dark Unwinding by Sharon Cameron. This one I got halfway through before I DNF'd it. It's one of the more recent books that I got. I got it last year. I got this one signed, which makes me feel even better about the fact that I haven't read it yet. It was very interesting. I think I'll have to be in the mood to read it though. It feels very nice. It's a very weird book. Sharon Cameron is starting to become more popular. I believe this was her debut novel, and she's becoming to get more popular. I also have Rook. This next one's a bit of a weird one. The first reader that I bought a long time ago when I was still reading first readers. I never read this one for some reason. I think it was because of the cover. This cover is very It's The Ghost in Tent 19 by Jim and Jane O'Connor. This one I actually probably could read in one sitting, but I probably won't because I'll be like stir crazy or something. Especially since it's below my reading level now, but it's just been sitting on my shelf mocking me and I need to read it. Next book is another one that my sister gave me as a gift sometime, and I started reading it. I'll call this one a DNF book, even though I only got a few chapters in. I got farther than I got in those other books that I mentioned. Not quite in the middle, but not really even into the story. I feel like the series is becoming really more popular now. I've heard some of my friends talk about it. It's Wings of Fire by 2D.T. Sutherland. I haven't said what any of these books are about, have I? Well, I'm not going to go back and do them now. This one, I believe, is about dragons. That's all I really know about it. And there's a prophecy and some kind of war. This is another dragon book that my sister gave me as a gift. Dragonborn by Toby Forward. I believe there's a young sorcerer in it too, which is intriguing. I read like the first chapter, but I didn't even get far enough to call it a DNF book. The Country Inn Suites. They have a thing where you can take a book off their own bookshelf in the lobby, and you can keep that book with you even after you check out and leave, and then when you finish it, you can just bring it back when you're done. And this is a book that I got from there. I'm putting it on this list just because I want to return it. And it's When You Reach Me by Rebecca Steed. I have no idea what this book is about, so don't ask me to do anything. This next one is Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. That's a really interesting cover, even though it has people on it. I read the prologue, apparently, but I didn't read further than that. This is also a series that I've been seeing more of. I haven't heard any of my friends talk about it, but I've been seeing more of it. I really don't know what it's about other than a couple of kids get sucked into some fantasy world. This next one is Seraphina and the Black Cloak by Robert Beatley. I remember my mom got this because it's historical fiction about the Biltmore Estate, which we've been to that place before and my mom really likes it, so she got this book in to read it. And she read it and she said it was really good, and I still need to read it because it sounds very interesting. It's got a really awesome cover. I really don't know what it's about. This last one that I have on my bucket list is another one of the more recent ones. I got it last year at the same book event I got Dark and Winding. It is Thrones and Bones Frostborn by Lou Anders. It's got a really nice cover. Look how shiny it is. This one is also signed and extremely personalized. It says, like, what does it say? To Daniel, never leave home amid of your axe and sword. And also there's some runes that he stamped these runes on. Those weren't a part of the actual book. He said that I'll know what that says once I read the book. Clearly, I don't know what it says because I haven't read the book. Now I know that this is not what he wrote in everyone's book, because my little brother also got a signed copy and it says something different. It might have been like revolving things. Okay, it looks like the Sorcerer's Stone under here. I believe this is the first book in a trilogy. It reminds me a lot of Lord of the Rings. Lou Anders got up and talked, and he sounded so much like J.R.R. Tolkien, like in his writing and his story. And I still haven't read it. I haven't even tried to read it. This isn't even one of the ones that I read the first few chapters of the prologue of. Okay, now time to stack the books. Stack the books. Oh dear. Oh, there's so many books. Oh, look at this. Oh, I don't think I can get them all in the shot. Are they all in the shot? Oh dear, slipping. Okay. That's all I have to talk about today. There's a lot of links in the description along with a link to my blog. If you've read any of these books and you liked them and you think I'll like them, please comment below and tell me so that I'll be more encouraged to actually try to pick these up. I think this is about 15 books, which means I'm going to have to read more than one a month if I'm going to get these done. So I better get started on them. That's all for today. Bye.